Hi, my name is Guy Bartram. I'm the Director of Product Marketing for our cloud providers in Broadcom. And today I'm joined by Marcel from Arvato. And thank you very much for coming, Marcel.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and Arvato, please?
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Marcel Mertens. I'm the product manager for the private cloud offering of Arvato Systems. So we are a German full managed service provider, offering mostly sovereign services, starting from the infrastructure up to the complete application management, doing SAP and application management to the customer. So the complete full stack, even client management, printer management, everything. What the customer is demanding, we try to deliver in a full service way.
Okay, and how long has Arvato been around as a cloud service provider?
Basically, so Arvato is part of the Bertelsmann Group. I think it's very, very popular media company. So we started as an in-house IT service provider, but then we get more and more and bigger and bigger. And now we are really focusing on critical customers from energy management and healthcare and public. And this is how we evolved over time. We are doing IT infrastructure since at least 20 years.
So Arvato providing a lot of sovereign services in how many German data centers do you guys have?
So we have 3 data centers in the area where our headquarters is, and then 2 we are co-located in the area of Leipzig.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And private cloud is a big part of your portfolio now, particularly in terms of the sovereignty play you have. Tell me about the you mentioned healthcare, energy. Tell me a little bit more about those verticals and the customers that you kind of service in those.
Yeah, so the challenging I see, I'm mostly coming from a technical point, but I try to get the full picture of the customer demand is that the customers we are working are challenging on the one hand where you need the flexibility and agility of public cloud, because everyone knows how quick you can deploy new workloads in the cloud. And on the other hand, you have concerns about data sovereignty, you have regulation, how you can put, data of healthcare and insurance people and so on. And this is what we currently see in the, what our customers are driving. So we want to be as agile as possible, but on the other hand have the concerns about data privacy and how we can meet regulation standards and so on. And this is where we are trying to help our customers to build sovereign solutions so that they can get infrastructure stuff where it's hardly to find people to operate the data center, the infrastructure and so on, and get rid of their own data center. So give it to us, because this is what we are doing at scale. Yeah. And at the other hand, give the customer the flexibility to obtain the same speed and agility in our private cloud, but don't prevent them, don't keep them in the private cloud offering or sovereign cloud offering. Also enable them to put certain parts of their business, for example, websites with no confidential data and so on, to hyperscalers. So this is what we are focusing. We are not selling our own sovereign cloud. This is part of our solution, but there are parts where public cloud services, hyperscalers, makes much more sense. Yeah. And this is what we try to achieve. So we are more how we can help the customer to achieve their goals and be as flexible, as agile as possible. But stay in the boundaries of their business regulation and so on.
Yeah, I mean that's really one of the key things at VMware we've been driving is sovereign cloud is not just about having an air-gapped environment. It's about having a multi-cloud environment that allows you to use the right cloud for the right kind of data categorization and classification. So, top secret data stays in your sovereign cloud, public data, as you say, utilize the hyperscalers. They've got great platforms for this. Okay, So sovereign cloud in Germany, BSI, C5, there's some tough regulations there. You mentioned something that was quite interesting to me, scale. Tell me a little bit about some of the scale customers that you've seen, and what sort of thing are we talking about when we say scale?
Yeah, so we have customers starting from a handful of virtual machines up to our largest customer is up to several thousands of VMs. I think we are currently running one of the largest NSX deployments in Europe, maybe in the world, I don't know. And so this is something we try to adopt to give the small customer the same kind of service and service offering in kind of micro-segmentation. So for example, in our private cloud offering, we are doing micro-segmentation by default because I think it's zero trust is something which will massively increase your security. And we implemented, we put a lot of effort into doing this infrastructure as code. So we are if we do managed service for our customers, we are using completely Terraform infrastructure as code, and we manage this to adopt this to our large scale customer. Right. And at the end, it's just how many assets you put in. You need more cooling, more racks, more infrastructure, more switching, more compute, and so on. You slightly have to change your architecture, but at the end, most of the stuff is software defined, and when you simply can scale up. We challenging VMware Broadcom because in this environment we are reaching the maximum configuration limits, and this is one of the challenging point. We managed it very well.
It's interesting, yeah. You say scale reaching the maximum configurations. I guess that means that in some respects you have to re-architect to keep it within the boundaries for support. Yeah. But also, you mentioned micro-segmentation, which is, for those that don't know, like putting a firewall around a VM, basically. So wherever the VM goes, but it principally for zero trust, the big benefit of that is malware and the prevention of lateral kind of attacks, which is essential, where we've seen some big media around public sectors that have been attacked and had significant damage to their reputation and downtime. So having that zero trust by default, that's a real value add.
Absolutely, yeah. And in combination with our infrastructure as code approach, you see the real benefit of it. Yeah, you can use the infrastructure as code as kind of part of the documentation we are providing to the customer. We are doing this in a GitOps style. So we have all the iteration of firewall changes and changes in the security configuration in GitHub. So we can provide the customer who changes which security settings and who approved it and all this kind of stuff. The documentation is built in. It's really a revolution how you can emphasize your compliance with security. Yeah,
it's moving from the traditional kind of north-south firewall to a fully automated firewall anywhere and everywhere kind of approach, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're thinking back 10 years ago or 5 years or whatsoever, most of what we see is that most of the firewall rules are simply built of IP to IP communication, and the IP is built to or bound to a virtual machine. But at a certain point, the virtual machine is wiped out or deleted and removed. But most of what happens with the firewall rule, with the IP address and the firewall rule, do you really retired? Can you remove it, and so on? And this brings a lot of holes in your cheese, and you end up with an unsecured firewall, and with the micro-segmentation and the using VMware objects, virtual machine objects as a reference. If you remove a virtual machine, you also remove the security or the firewall rule. And this in combination with dynamic rules and so on, brings really a lot of visibility. And if you're using something like, I don't know what's the name because you're changing the names. It's vRealize Network Insight. Yes. I don't know.
Network Insight, let's just call it that.
Network Insight, it brings you even much more visibility about the traffic flow and traffic flow this wasn't there in the past, which might be attacks or whatsoever. This helps really a lot.
Yeah, you had ARM on at the cab level. You never had it at the VM level. It was something that didn't exist before. So that's fantastic. So customers can rest assured they're going to have dynamic security, which will be provisioned on all of their VMs by default, and they'll be in control of that. Okay, so Arvato is a long-standing CSP delivering managed services, sovereign services across hyperscales. Customers can effectively offload their technical debt, their old data centers, migrating to new data centers. You had a fantastic case study with Kubus.
Exactly. Yes.
IT. You want to just give us some brief highlights on that one?
Yeah, so this is what I said, our large-scale customer. So we are, for one who doesn't know Kubus is the IT operator for one of the largest German health insurances, the AOK. So we are running the IT infrastructure for around 8 million citizens in Germany who are insured by AOK. So before Kubus was running their own old data center, and they have the problems most of our customers have. We are not able to get the right amount of person to operate the data center, the infrastructure, and they have the special health insurance applications they need to run. So they made the decision to give away the infrastructure assets to us, so we can run them in our data center. This is, as I mentioned, what we can do perfectly at scale. So the customer Kubus can really focus on their application. Becoming better in providing better health insurance services to all the AOK and so on. We did it in around 15 months, migrating around, I don't have correct numbers, I think it was 20,000 or 15,000 virtual machines, migrated with VMware HCX with zero downtime, around I think 19 petabytes of data. It was a big project for us. Quite challenging, to be honest. We have to readjust a bit, but I think this is what Arvato brings up to one of the hyperscalers. Hyperscaler, you get the resources you order, but then you're up to your own. And how to migrate and how you handle issues, or if something isn't going well, then you're on your own.
You're by yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And this is where we are open to the customer. See, for example, Kubus, we have this and this problem, or this and this doesn't work as we have planned, because this is a really large scale, and we have to find a solution together. And we managed it for all the tickets and all the issues we have and so on. And at the end, it's all about customer satisfaction. If a customer's happy, we have a service provider happy, and
it's a great story.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I often hear that service providers can't scale to kind of hyperscale portfolio and size. And with Arvato and the example of Kubus, you've got a real migration happened in a short time period in tough environment of, I think, 8,000 servers, 25,000 concurrent users, and most importantly, zero downtime.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's pretty much unheard of. So I take my hat off to you guys for that one. That was very impressive.
Absolutely. But at the end, it's the same business if you do it for 100 VMs or for 20,000 VMs. I remember the semi-trucks coming to our data center, bring all the hardware stuff. I see thousands of packaging, servers and switches and so on, and all this has to brought into the data center in a documented way. This was a requirement by Kubus that every hardware of the cloud is documented, how it's unpacked, and all the serial numbers have to written down. We have to comply to this. And doing this at scale. So we increased our data center capacity by around 40 to 50% with this project. And doing all this kind of stuff, onboarding the hardware, stacking the racks and so on, was really tough, and needs some new ways even for us to change our processes. Because if you build in, I don't know, 20, 30, 50 servers per week, is different than building in, I don't know, 500 servers in a few months. So you have to change your processes, but still be in comply with what the customer and your own regulation is required. You're talking about BSEC5. We comply with BSEC5. So that's part of our sovereign story that you have to follow your processes and can document it.
Yeah, governance. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's a great overview of Arvato, a great overview of the type of capability you have as well. So thank you for sharing that. If customers want to find out more about Arvato, where would you advise they go?
So basically, go to our homepage website, arvatosystems.de, and then you can see all our portfolio and. At every portfolio CV, the contact person, or I think you can also find us, me, or some of my colleagues on LinkedIn and get in direct contact there.
Perfect. Marcel, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you very much, guys.
Cheers.